Hello everyone and welcome back to our mommy chat. And today of course I have with me Dr. Anne and we are going to be discussing breastfeeding. Stay tuned. Do you know that over 7 million babies are born every year in Nigeria? It's alarming. But just 25% of these children are exclusively breastfed. And this is according to UNICEF. So I think that breastfeeding is actually an important topic we need to talk about, and so that we can encourage, I think the word is encourage because you can't really force anybody.
No, you
but
can't.
the word is to encourage every mother out there to breastfeed, and not just breastfeed but exclusively breastfeed their children for like the first 6 months of their life. We're going to be diving into all of that this month, and we're going to be talking about different topics on how we can, everything that needs to help us with breastfeeding.
Yes.
So today we're going to be talking about why do we even really need to breastfeed? Why is it important for us to breastfeed for the first 6 months?
Yeah.
Let's talk
What's the
about
big
that.
deal?
What's the big deal?
What's the big deal about breastfeeding?
And why is it so important?
What's the big deal about breastfeeding? Well, I assume that we all know what breastfeeding is. Surely, yeah, it's like when you give your baby or your newborn milk coming from the mother's breast. So why is it important to give your baby breast milk? Why feed your baby food from your body rather than synthetically modified milk? Nature has been good to us, and God has really been good to us to give us a miracle food from the baby, from the body. I believe that breast milk is like manna, is the modern day manna, like the ones that the Israelites enjoyed, for people who don't know the story. It's a wonder food. Imagine a newborn baby taking food from your body that you didn't have to physically manufacture, and that food meets all the dietary requirements a child would need for 6 months. It's amazing. That means that the child doesn't even need water. So let's first start with what exclusive breastfeeding is, because that is what we advocate. It's not just breastfeeding a baby, but giving that child just that milk that is coming out from your body. Now, some people will say, oh, why, that when the child is tested, the child needs water. Yes, the child needs water, and that's why the component of the breast milk, it differs. We have the foremilk and the hindmilk. The foremilk is the one that is more watery, the watery one that begins to soothe, and which is usually the ones that starts to come out once the baby starts suckling. And that is more diluted and helps to prepare the guts for the hind milk, and also helps to quench the thirst. So that's why we say don't give water. Your baby doesn't need water. You're causing more harm than good if you're exclusively breastfeeding and then you're giving water. Because with water you're not even sure how what's the word now? How safe the water, how hygienic, how clean the water is, which can be a source of infection for the baby. The formilk that is coming, it's just coming straight from the mother's breast, and so no chance of infection. And then the hind milk is the satisfying one, where the baby actually really does feed and also gets most of the nutrients the baby needs. So the big deal about breastfeeding exclusively is because all the food, all the nutrients your growing baby needs to acquire, to be healthy, to be of optimum health, it's already in the milk. The nutrients, everything for the brain development, the eyes, because the baby is still growing. The eyes, the jaw, the mouth, the immune system, to build the immune system to be strong against diseases right now and in the future. So many diseases we won't even talk about. We can talk about the respiratory infections, the colds, the allergies. Some of the breast milk constituents have immunoglobulins that would help the baby to develop properly, that will help the immune system to develop properly. So a breastfed baby is less likely to develop food allergies. So that's one. Two, gastrointestinal problems. A breastfed baby is less likely to develop gastrointestinal problems and have diarrhea diseases or diarrhea problems because there is no source of infection from the outside in terms of what the baby takes into the mouth when you are exclusively breastfeeding. Then other things, there's been postulation of a baby who's been exclusively breastfed is less likely to have leukemia in future. Those are cancers and some other cancers. So those are some of the big deals for why, you should totally exclusively breastfeed your baby. And, cows don't go to goats. Cows don't go to goats to get fed, It's only humans that, they sideline the natural food chain. We are the ones who sideline the natural food chain and look for alternatives. Yes, it's okay to go for alternatives if there are reasons why you cannot exclusively breastfeed. I mean, even though we advocate that every woman should breastfeed, but we know that for some people it's impossible. So we are not saying that if you're not breastfeeding, you are horrible, your baby will not grow. No, but we know obviously the baby will thrive if things are done properly. But we are saying that the best option you have for your baby is breast milk from the mother. And beyond, all this other nutritional value it has for the baby, it also has benefits for the mother as well. One, as you are breastfeeding, you're healing better because your uterus is contracting because of the hormones that are released, so it helps you heal faster. And then I also believe that as a breastfeeding mom, you're more aware of your hygiene because, it's quite easy to get lost in all the activity and all the work that you need to do to care for your baby. And so you would usually just sideline yourself, as the last person. But when you remember that you are breastfeeding, you have to be clean. You want to have your bath, more often because you don't want the baby sucking when you're all sweaty. And so I think it also helps with hygiene. 3, it is convenient.
True.
When you bottle feed, there's a lot of protocol you have to follow. A lot of hygienic problems and issues that you want to be sure that you're high on point on. But with breastfeeding, you cut all of that off. Apart from the fact that it's cheap, it is at no cost to you. It is absolutely cheap. How can you, imagine having the best meal at no cost, extra cost. Maybe, well, if you are the type who likes to pump, maybe that's what it will cost you, yes. And then to store the food, but that's all. Can you imagine how much baby food costs now, It's a lot of money. And apart from the money, all the work involved. So breastfeeding will give you less stress. It will reduce the amount of work you have. Exactly.
Temperature, check the temperature. If somebody else is doing it, you have to be supervised. You have to supervise.
Exactly.
110 to make sure that it gets it right. Mix this. How many? 6, 2 ounces inside 6. It's a whole lot.
So breast milk is on the go. It's readily available. And then apart from that, for the mother, it's also protective in future against breast cancer. Some studies have said that the more the babies you have, the more the cover or the advantage or the protective advantage you have against developing breast cancer in future. So what's not to love about breastfeeding? That's why this month and this week, WHO and UNICEF, they have said, let's give 1st to 7th of August to encourage women to recognize breastfeeding and to encourage women all over the world to breastfeed their babies. It's a very important thing.
Yeah, very, very true. So what is the big deal about breastfeeding? It is good for the baby because it would protect them and in future they'll be less likely to have some certain diseases or infections. For the mother, it is important. It's convenient. It's convenient.
Yes.
It's cheap. It protects you. Also, you're less likely to have breast cancer. It's what else? And you know, for the baby, it's oh my
Nutritional value.
Okay, yes, nutritional value.
No infections. There's no
infection.
chance of infection.
So what's the big deal about breastfeeding? For the baby, the nutritional value is next to none. They have everything that they need in the breast milk. You don't need to give them water. You don't need to supplement their food. They have everything they need in the breast milk. And they are less likely to have infections or diseases in the future.
Yes.
And that is what, I don't think that there's anything that can compare to that for the child, because at the end of the day what we're looking for is for the baby, for our children to thrive and not have
healthy.
all those, you know, and to be extra very, very healthy. You are not always convenient when they are sick, so you don't want to have this kind of issues. And for the mother, it is convenient,
It is at no cost.
cheap, and it also helps you to heal better in the first few weeks.
Yes.
Because it helps you to contract your uterus and all of that.
Yeah.
So really
Helps with your hygiene.
Yes.
And then in future, it protects,
yes, it protects you from breast cancer.
Yes.
So that is what is the big deal. Really, it's a big deal. So you've heard it, and I hope that it encourages you to not to go through the, power through. It encourages you to power through. That's the word, power through. We know that it's
the
not
rigors
easy.
of breastfeeding. Yes.
Yeah, we understand that it's not easy, and we know that it comes with its own challenges as well, which we are going to talk about in another video.
Yeah.
So, and this is not people that can't breastfeed. We are trying to say, oh, you're not good enough,
Or
and
you're
all
a
of
bad
that. Of course,
mother,
that's not it. We also understand that there are people that cannot breastfeed.
Yeah.
And when that happens, of course, your child will be all right, definitely. But we also know that it's very important to breastfeed. So if you can, please
Give it your best shot.
give it your best shot, yes. And if you can, please do breastfeed, exclusively breastfeed your child for 6 months. Thank you, and we will see you in the next video.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.